Yeah. Read this. Read this. This college educated personal trainer and gym owner claims that the human hand only has one muscle. Only one muscle in the human hand. And it's vestigial. For those of you who don't know what vestigial is, it's kind of a fancy scientific word, definition meaning basically useless. In other words, it got to a point of where there was something, if you believe in evolution, that something that was evolved over time and then later it became useless, and so it's no longer useful or beneficial, or yeah, that's basically what vestigial means. And yet we have a college educated person who is a personal trainer, who on their LinkedIn says they're a personal trainer, and they own a gym, and their job is to make people's lives better through health and fitness and my personal training and coaching and all of this stuff. Claims that the hand only has one muscle. I mean, this is absolutely insane. Let me show you this right here. Here is this guy, and Nick Volker, who says, Steve Wilson, there's only one muscle in the human hand. It's vestigial and has no function. You can't make this up. I mean, I wasn't going to do another video today because I'm feeling sick. I'm under the weather, but I read this, and this has kind of been going on for a while. But the more I thought about it, and in the context of the whole discussion, was a video on how to train delts, and basically what a guy was doing, instead of just doing your normal delt raise, raising your shoulder and getting the side delts, that he was holding the weight like this, pinching it and bringing it up, and then at the top he's flexing, and which actually what that ends up doing is you're using all the smaller muscles of your hand, which are going to get fatigued first, rather than your side delts. So your hand is going to get fatigued, and you're not going to get a full workout on your delts by pinching the weight like that. You can hold more weight holding a weight like this versus holding a weight like this and trying to do your side delt activation. And then when you do this, you are putting a lot of strain on the muscles of your hand, which according to this wackadoo, jackwagon Nick, says there's only one of, and it's vestigial. All of these will fatigue out. And in other words, what you're doing is, and then by flexing at the top, because the guy was like, you flex at the top like this with the weight as you're pinching it, you fatigue all these muscles, your recruiting muscles in your forearm. Those are smaller than, this. So in other words, you're going to fatigue out the smaller muscles, and you're not going to be able to get a good pump on your delts, because your hand muscles are going to, just peter out before you get some real good tension. And because you're recruiting different muscles, you're removing the concept of isolation away from that side delt. So this guy here, Nick, says there's only one muscle in the human hand, and it's vestigial. It has no function. So I don't know if you've studied human anatomy, but it ends up that if oh God, please. This is a college educated person. That means they went to high school, they graduated, they went to college, and they graduated and got a degree. They stood on the stand and they got their diploma and they threw their hat in the air, yay, and then they became a fitness professional and personal trainer and coach, and they own a gym and making comments like this. How, if it has no function and there's only one muscle, then how can I move this separate from these or all of these? Because now there's a lot of tendons in the fingers. But to say that there's only one muscle in the human hand, you have got to be kidding me. It boggles the mind. And so this is a prime example of what I'm talking about. When you have people that say, you know what, oh, I have a degree, I know more than you, And it's like, you know what? Your degree doesn't mean anything if you continue to spew stupid out of your mouth. That's what it comes down to. I mean, one muscle in the human hand and it's vestigial. Oh my God, seriously. Yeah, and this guy was absolutely serious. He was absolutely serious. And so, I was like, okay, well, maybe this is a joke. It ends up, it wasn't a joke. It was like, and a number of other people got on him as well. But I wanted to also kind of show you some other stuff here because it's going to get deep. I looked this guy up, and in my comments to this guy, I'm like, you got to do some information. You need to do some searching and researching because I remember when I went to high school and you had science class, we went over the human body, the muscles, the bones, the nervous system. That was, pretty much the basic stuff back then. And what ended up happening is I remember some of that. And I also had the benefit of my daughter, who is a doctor. She is a doctor. She went through medical school. They had to identify muscles and nerves and all ligaments and tendons on cadavers and label all these things out. So I remember her doing that, and just tons of studying. And seeing the information that she studied just boggled my mind. I mean, I didn't know, but if you search and just do a cursory Google search of medical textbooks, or even just ask the question, how many muscles are there in the human hand? It's like 30. Okay. Excuse me, I'm coming down with a cold. But yeah, and so in joking, it's a little bit of sarcasm to what this guy said, is that it's vestigial and there's only one in vestigial. Is I was like, I pray to God you're not a personal trainer, because there's a lot of stupid people, and so in passing I just said, hey, hopefully you're not a personal trainer, as kind of a joke. And I was just amazed that somebody with a college education could make such a statement. And so I decided to dig a little bit deeper. Well, it ends up that this guy owns a gym. He has a college degree and he owns a gym. And yeah, let's take a look at this. There he is. And this is gonna, oh my gosh, seriously. Nick Volker. And again, he made that statement that we can see up there. And it says, that there's only one muscle in the human hand and it's vestigial, has no function. So I'm not sure how you're clicking your mouse and picking up your phone and doing all this stuff, picking up and grabbing and without muscles. I don't know. It's maybe it's his hand. Maybe he's like that guy in that comedy movie with the hey, let me help you with that. I can't remember the name of the movie. It was one of those scary movie parody things with the dude and the small shriveled hand. Maybe that's him. I don't think so. And again, so you can see here, a personal trainer who claims there is only one muscle in the human hand and it's vestigial, meaning it's basically worthless. The fact is there are 30 muscles in the human hand. You can do searches, 20, 30 is the number. And, there's a picture of the human hand and there's all the different muscles that attach, that go into the wrist and the forearm. And so, it's kind of like a thing. When your body moves things, it needs muscles. Okay. You've got to have muscles to move things. When you take your bicep and you bring it in, there's a muscle here that squeezes and contracts and brings that concentric movement. Then there's the eccentric where it extends it out because there's an opposite muscle of the tricep. Apparently this guy doesn't know this as a personal trainer. Good Lord. How? This is part of the problem that I have with people who are educated. Just because you have a college degree, just because you are a personal trainer, just because you've worked in an industry for X amount of years, does not automatically mean you're right. You can do something for 30, 40 years and be absolutely wrong. This guy is the owner of Sumna Vida Fitness in Napa, Idaho. And it says here, he's a fitness coaching and personal training. He's a trainer. He's a coach, and he doesn't know that the human hand has more than one muscle. If I was the certifying organization for him as a personal trainer, I would revoke his certification for making such idiotic claims and statements. And, of saying, oh, it's only one muscle in the human hand and it's vestigial. So again, we get to the point of where people can make claims and they can be highly educated and they can be highly idiotic at the same time. They can be 100% wrong on so many levels, and yet they can have doctorates. They can be medical doctors. They can have PhDs, and they can still make some insane and asinine false statements, and the world is littered with these people. I don't get it. So do you think that there's a possibility that there are some highly educated, stupid people out there who are trying to con you out of your money by being a personal trainer and then feeding you a line of bull? I mean, this is an extreme. This here is an extreme of what I'm talking about. And so that's why I wanted to make this video. And it's interesting because it's like, I posted a comment is showing, from different websites, kind of like, medical websites, I don't know, just showing all the different muscles in the hand, a couple different references, from medical, very, very, very trustworthy medical sites, and that's where that little picture comes in there of the human hand. But seriously, the more I think about this, if you have somebody who's claiming to be a personal trainer and he looks to be in good shape, I'll give him that, But if you don't know the basic parts of the human body and you say that the human hand has one muscle and it's vestigial, in other words, it's basically useless, I don't know what to say. That's a special kind of stupid. That is monumentally stupid. That isn't just ignorant. I wish I could claim that he was just ignorant. Now, we're all ignorant. I'm ignorant on a number of things. You're ignorant. We're all ignorant on a huge variety of topics. And if you're ignorant and you're innocent and you don't know what you don't know, then that's fine. You can be corrected. You can learn the information. You can correct your beliefs in regards that they're in line with the facts. But this guy is college educated. That means he graduated high school. That means he went to 4 years of college. That means he went through a certain amount of time to get his personal trainer and certification, which goes over, by the way, I don't know of any personal trainer organization like NASM or any of them that do not teach the muscles of the human body. I don't know any. So maybe he just outright failed that section of the course and he barely skated by because, he knew everything else, but he just has this asinine belief that there's only one muscle in the human hand and it's vestigial. Yeah, that's very problematic. So yeah. So when people throw titles, when people throw positions, or I'm an owner of a gym, or I managed a gym, or I'm a personal trainer, or I've taught X amount of people, and then you make comments like this, that makes me very afraid. And if I was a client of this person, I would run away fast. Because if they don't know the Barney basics of human anatomy, and they make a claim like this, you need to run away. Because that is a monumentally huge red flag that shows that, one, they can't remember the Barney basics. Two, if this is what they seriously believe and put on social media, what else are they going to be wrong on? And how is that going to affect you and your training and the money that you're giving them? In other words, is this person qualified to get your money? Qualifications don't mean anything if you say something entirely and monumentally stupid as this. So Yeah, and it's interesting because he was very vocal. Nick was Volker, and after I posted, how many muscles were in the human hand, suddenly he grew silent. Yeah, suddenly he grew silent. What are the odds? And then it just bugged me and bugged me so much. It really got under my skin because I'm like, this, I really wanted to, not that it offended me in any way, shape, or form, but I just wanted to get to the source of why this person believes the way that they do. Now, some people are just ignorant. Some people are stupid. Some people have some mental issues that they have going on that prevents them from knowing or accepting facts, or they're just kind of they're out in left field on their own, and God bless them. But this guy talked with a little bit more finesse, and so that bothered me. And I'm like, well, and again, like I said in passing, it was like, I hope this guy isn't a personal trainer. And so to cure my curiosity, what I ended up doing is checking it out, and yeah, he owns a gym. And then it was like, oh well, if he owns a gym, I'm going to bet a paycheck that he's a personal trainer. And so I checked his LinkedIn, and sure enough, he's a personal trainer, coach, fitness coaching, the whole 9 yards. And he doesn't know Barney basics of muscles in the human hand. I mean, you ask somebody, you can ask somebody on the street, people who don't know, and say, well, how many muscles in the human hand there are? They would probably say, well, since your fingers move, and probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there's some meaty part here, 6, 7, there's something in here, so that's 8, maybe 9 or 10. A reasonable person with just the power of deduction of looking at the hand and saying, okay, well, we know that muscles move things in conjunction with tendons to move things, and I can feel meaty parts of my hand, and I can flex, and I can feel, yeah, but this guy says one. So you're telling me that one muscle can move all of these digits, grip. Seriously. See what I'm talking about? Just because somebody has a title, just because somebody's a personal trainer, just because somebody went to college, just because somebody owns or manages a gym for hundreds or thousands of people does not mean that they are right. So you need to be careful. But yeah, I just thought this, and this is important information, because I have run into personal trainers that don't know their ass from a hole in the ground. They couldn't find their ass with two hands and a compass. And then I've met people who are not personal trainers, but know more than personal trainers when it comes to nutrition, exercise, physiology of doing exercise, and why this works, and why this works a different angle, and how you can get more effective and efficient workouts on a specific muscle group, and isolating this or doing it this angle. I've met people that just put personal trainers to shame, and they're not certified trainers. So, but it all comes down to the education, and the facts will stand by themselves. But if you start putting off stuff like this that is obviously untrue, all you're doing is hurting yourself, and you sound like an idiot. So, hopefully hopefully this is the only shame in his game. Hopefully this is the only thing that he is way out in left field. I have a problem believing that, because usually when people make such absurd statements like this, there's other things that they believe that are terribly wrong as well. So anyway, I just wanted to bring this up, that the interwebs and social media do not disappoint when it comes to monumental levels of stupidity. And yeah, and the thing is, he went dead quiet. Hasn't replied to anything. I would love to see information, like I tell other people that are like, when I present factual information and facts that is based on science and testing and research and measurements, double-blind studies, the whole 9 yards. I'm open the information. So send me the information, but don't send me BS. And don't make claims and then not back them up. Because if you make a claim and you don't back it up, then it's your job to back up that claim. It's not my job, but that's what I ended up doing here, is showing, yeah, it's good. Yeah, seriously, really, this is the generation that we have. Obviously, I'm thinking he's in his mid to late 30s, somewhere around there. It's hard to tell with no hair. I'm losing mine, and I'm 57. But yeah, to think that this is somebody who is instructing other people is just mind-boggling. Now, like I said, maybe there is this possibility that this is the only thing in his fitness training, coaching, gym owning thing that's wrong, but I highly doubt it. To miss something of this magnitude is just, it boggles the imagination. So anyway, I just want to throw this out there as another very interesting type of example of people who make wild claims on the internet, don't back them up, and when you actually verify information and search to see if what they're saying is true, yeah, sometimes you get people like this. So be careful who you listen to. Trust, but verify everything. And again, if you don't know, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. So with that being said, hopefully you'll have a good day, and we'll see you on the next video. Peace. That's insane. Crazy.